GTN viewers, meet Steve. Steve works at the GTN Megabase. He does lots of fancy stuff on a computer. He's also a triathlete. But like many, the last couple of years of COVID restrictions and lockdown derailed his triathlon training and racing plans. He was left demotivated, and in his own words,
I feel like I'm starting from square one again.
This year he also turned 50, the big 50. And over a beer, he rather foolishly proposed that he would like to
Qualify for the Ironman World Champs in Hawaii.
A couple more beers later, the project Hawaii 50 was born, and we're here to help him.
Well, things are ramping up for Project Hawaii 52 with the big race now only a few months away. So I feel it's time to check back in with our in-house Ironman athlete, Steve. Now, obviously, we've covered his swim, bike and run training, his nutrition and his bike fit. But I feel there's still one area that can help tie all of this together. So I want to know how Steve's body is holding up and then take a look at what strength and conditioning can help him reach those triathlon goals. So it's time to head into the gym. Well, welcome back again, Steve, to another one of our videos. Thank you for turning up.
That's okay.
As you can guess, we are looking at your strength and conditioning and a little bit around that. But if you can first just give me a very brief overview of what experience you've had of strength and conditioning in the past and where your knee is at, because I know that's been your sort of niggle, your problem.
Yes, I mean, for me, strength and conditioning has always been maybe outside of racing. So
Yeah.
it's always I know I should do it, and then sometimes actually training takes priority, and then it kind of tapers off, it sort of fades away. But this time around, I think because of my knee, it's been a bit more in the spotlight. So I've had a bit of input from a physio, which restricts me from some exercises, and then it just means that I can focus on some basic strength work on this knee whilst not aggravating it.
Okay, so I do have a list of exercises, but are there some certain things that you can't do then, or you don't do?
Yeah, so any sort of deep squatting or lunging, anything that puts pressure on that knee effectively, and that's been replaced with just some quite simple leg extensions. So just like literally that's the only exercise I do on that knee.
Okay, right. So
Outside
we'll have
of stretching and-
we did have some lunges in there, so we'll remove those and a couple of single leg stuff, but we can adapt as we go. So today is more about just activation work. It's not going to be stuff that's going to be really heavy or hard, and it's things that we're in a gym session today, but you can do at home, because I know that it's so hard when you're time crunched and motivation goes down the window. The likelihood of going to a gym, to be realistic, is quite slim. So I've got a few to run through, but I want you to be honest with me. If there's any you don't like, we've got plenty to choose from, so it's kind of a bit of a conversation.
Okay, good. I will be honest.
Cool. First up, I want to look at the hip drop exercise. I'm not exactly sure of its official name, but obviously when you're running and cycling, our hips do a lot of the work. And quite often, knee problems can come from muscles not firing correctly around the hip. So this is a really good activation, single-sided exercise. And it's quite simple. And all you need is a step. So you can do this at home on a normal step. Just make sure it's solid. So you're going to start in a moment by just standing with one foot hovering at the same height as the other one. So if you want to stand like so, and then on the edge, so your other foot is just off, and you're already in that position activating your glutes on the stable side. And from there, you're going to try and keep your shoulders as level as you can. You're just going to drop this foot closest to me down towards the ground, ever so slightly. Just drop it down, and then you're going to pull it back up to just above standing. That's it, and then drop it back down again. I can see all of the concentration on your face already here. Now, the idea is if you do have a mirror in front of you, then just try to keep an eye that your shoulders are staying level, because I don't want it as a side bend. It needs to purely be movement at the hip, so you're controlling it with those muscles, so you're facing forwards.
I feel balanced, I don't know if I...
Yeah, you look at it. When you get tired, especially at the end of a marathon and an Ironman, that's when you'll start to see, if you ever see any race photos, you might see pictures when you've landed and your hips like that. Not you personally, but I mean, like I've had pictures of that. And that is because those muscles have got tired and they're no longer holding you up. So your run has suddenly become a lot less efficient. So if you're activating these, in theory, you're going to be able to absorb that energy and go, keep your run form looking good. And get to the finish line quicker.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
this is something that you can just do at home when you remember, or do it as a pre-activation exercise before going out on the bike or before a run, just to get everything firing.
Okay, so you can do it as almost as a warm-up as well.
Yeah, because these are all sort of, shouldn't be things that are going to really tire you. They're going to more wake your muscles up. So you can put them into a little gym routine if you want, but you could also do some of them just before.
It did feel quite nice as a stretch as well when the foot was at the bottom. Maybe I'm a bit tight.
Yeah, maybe. That could be something else to look at.
A bonus.
It's time to look at the calf muscle, and this is a really good generic calf exercise that a lot of runners will include in their general program, whether they're rehabbing or whether they're just doing it more preventative. And it's strengthening the calf muscle, but also the Achilles tendon. It's really simple. Step onto the step, so you're already at neutral. Now just put your balls of your feet, so you're hovering over, and hold there, and that's it. In a controlled manner, you're just going to literally lower down and then up to beyond neutral, so up to your tiptoes. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's actually, the slower you do it, the harder it is, you'll find. So it's all about control. This is an exercise, because it's not any extra weight, it's about doing fairly high repetitions, but controlled.
Okay, yeah.
And if you find it too easy, or once you've got used to doing this, you can progress to doing single leg, but that is quite a big jump, so you could actually progress by going up on both and then eccentric lowering just on one, so you can come up and then down on one.
Okay, yeah.
You can obviously take away the support, or lessen the support by maybe just holding with one finger.
Okay.
And you could also go to doing it weighted, so whether that's something on your shoulders or even a calf raising machine if you're in the gym.
Yeah.
And again, you'd go back to double before progressing to single leg.
Okay.
For that one. How do you find them? How does it feel? Is it something you've done before?
Yeah. I mean, they're quite nice. It's a bit of a stretch at the same time.
Yeah.
But I can definitely feel that on tired legs.
Yeah. Right, it's time to have a little rest and sit down. No,
Thank you.
I'm joking. I'm not that nice. This is a fail-safe exercise for activating the glutes again, and it's really easy to progress. So hip bridges, really simple. We want to really concentrate on getting the glutes firing. So I want you to, before you even start the action, just think about squeezing your glutes. You're kind of sending all the messages to there. You're going to squeeze your glutes and then lift your hips towards the ceiling.
Okay.
So lying with your head back, squeeze glutes first, and then push the hips up towards the ceiling. That's it, until you have a nice straight line from your knee through your hips to your shoulder, and then back down again. Now, the key with this is keeping it controlled. Faster isn't better. Slow is very much the aim of the game here. And thinking about your glutes, because your hamstrings want to kick in usually.
Yeah, I almost got cramp then on my hamstring.
There we go. See, that shows that you're...
I think I've got cramp.
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
Well, there's a good sign that you're not doing it correctly.
That'll teach me.
I want you to just try and relax your fingers, because I feel like there's a lot of pressure going down through your hands, which is it's fine, it's helping stabilise, but it's just making the exercise a bit easier. So now, to make it a little bit harder, we can reduce the base of support. Simply put them across your chest. Then, if you want to progress further, which we can have a go at and see what your stability is like, we can go to single leg, and then it's simply just lifting one leg slightly off the ground. But that is going to involve a lot of concentration, because it's about keeping your hips level. Okay, take a rest there. How do you find that? Do you think that's something you could actually incorporate?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, no, definitely, because most of these things could be done, if you're stretching at the end of a run anyway. So it feels. I don't know if that would be the right time to do them.
It's still working those glutes. I mean, this one can be used as an activation one, but because it's lying down, it sort of tends to be more of something you can do within a little gym routine, which could be done easily at the end of your run. I'd say activation, maybe more the hip one we were doing earlier.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't be doing any lunges or single leg squats, so that makes something like this a bit more important, because you won't be getting that single leg activation from those sorts of things because of your knee. Right, I feel like it's time to be a bit nice to you for a moment. And this is an exercise that I personally love. It's a bit of mobility. I don't know if you get stiff after bike rides, but this is great for just opening up the thoracic spine before and after. So it's called thread the needle. Okay. You start in 4-point kneeling. Let's start with your right hand. You're just going to take it out away from you and reach up towards the ceiling, following it with your gaze. Thread it underneath your arm towards me, as far as you can go, and that's it. And then drop your shoulder gently down onto the mat and just hold it there for a moment. You should start to feel just a really nice stretch and twist.
Yeah,
and then from that, take it back up to the ceiling. Just nice, slow movement. This is very much just an exercise that's there to help move everything in that middle spine, which if you're spending a lot of time on the bike, can get really tight. Okay, so this is the kneeling chop. I've got dumbbell for you for this one, but you can do it with cables, but I imagine at home you probably don't have a cable set up.
Nope.
So I just thought we'd make it as simple as possible. So if you take that in both hands, I've started with a nice lightweight, because this is a bit of mobility, but mainly core and activation work, working through the kind of diagonal sling. So you're going to start with your hands just dropping them down towards that bottom hip, and from there you're going to take them diagonally up towards me across your other shoulder. And you should just feel your core muscles just waking up a little bit. And as well as that, you'll be getting a bit of mobility around the shoulders and some mobility with the rotation of your trunk as well.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you were using a cable, you would be doing, in a way, the opposite action, because you'd be pulling down, whereas this, gravity is meaning you're actually working on the upward rotation. But when you're running, you're actually running in a diagonal movement from your shoulder to your hip. And this is called the diagonal sling. So the sort of tendons and muscles and fascia that run across your body and your front and your back. And it's just helping to coordinate that and wake that diagonal sling up.
Yeah.
So it is quite a relevant exercise. All right, we are not going to let you get away with the lovely glute activation exercise that is straightforward. The crab walk. I've got two options for you here. I'm going to start you off with I think is the lighter band. This is really simple. It's going to just fire up glute med, so basically your bottom muscles on the outside, which I've kind of been a bit of a theme of today, but it's a really simple one to do before you run or just part of a gym routine. You're going to pop this around your ankles and you're going to go into a sort of demi-squat position and basically sidestep for 10 steps in one direction, 10 steps back, keeping your shoulders nice and upright.
Sounds
All right,
good.
there's the band. Off you go. This is one I really like. It's really simple. It straight away gets you feel where it's supposed to be working really quickly.
It's a good look as well, isn't it?
It's popular in the gym. Yeah. For the final exercise, I'm going to be nice to you. This is actually a nice one. It just involves a little bit of concentration. So you're going to be lying on your front a minute doing prone W's, which basically are a great exercise for swimming. It's going to be purely upper body, but also a great exercise to sort of counteract that position that in the Western world we spend so much time protracted on our laptops, and it's going to be kind of retracting those shoulders and just activating a bit of the back muscles and opening the chest up. So you're going to be lying face down with your arms as though they're making goalposts, so out to the side. And then from there, you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades as though you're trying to pull them together, and that will lift your arms just slightly off the mat. There's very small movement needed for this. And tuck your chin in so your head is just off the mat as well, but your neck's in a neutral position. And then from there, you're going to very slowly move your hands upwards towards, so past your head, and only as far as you can control, and then bringing them back down, so your elbows are coming back down towards your hips. But it's a movement within your control. There's no competition here with how far you move. It's purely about just keeping your arms parallel to the floor and keeping that control. Well done, Steve. You survived. Like I said, there's nothing that's really about heavy weights, but
No.
I mean, be honest, like you said at the start, anything you really enjoyed, you're definitely not going to do, you're definitely going to do?
I think that it all felt good, and it reminded me that I should really be doing it, because some of it felt I haven't done this for a while.
Yeah.
So no, I think everything made complete sense.
Well, you'll be able to watch the video back to remind
will.
yourself once it's out.
I'll just play the video when I feel like doing S&C.
There you go. I mean, I'm purposely not going to prescribe like all the way through this, because you've got to do what you want when you want, and these are just ideas that will hopefully help you reach your training goals. And I know you've got a big race, well, your medium race coming up, and then you've got enough time now to incorporate these before the big day. I mean, I'm sure we'll find another excuse to bring you in for a video and make you do some work or eat cake or something, hopefully before the big day. But for now, I'm just going to let you go away, absorb those, and hopefully not forget them all. And
No, I won't.
I'll be checking in to see how they get on.
Yeah, thank you for being kind.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your help, Steve. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this and enjoyed Steve's efforts that he's going to for us. If so, do give us a like.